అప్పుడప్పుడు ఇలా చేస్తూ ఉండాలి, చూస్తూ ఉండాలి. ఇది కట్ అవ్వట్లేదు, ఇదే కట్ అవుతుంది. SSMNC, and can go to Facebook also. Towards the end of this chapter, 3 cases are cited in this forward way and doctors administered injections which produce no effect. Then he approached the cold but he explained this recipe gave him complete relief. All these studies show that the real use in the various diseases from
Done. Yeah, just done. Yeah, just check at the time if you are free. Just come like do this. Okay.
ऐनोनगोत्रोद्भवस्य शरद्रेड्डीनामरेस्यामनितारेड्डीनाम्याः सायशक्तीनाम्याः अस्य यजमानस्य कुटुम्बस्य सर्वाभीष्टसिद्ध्यर्थं काश्यपगोत्रोद्भवस्य ऋषद्देसायनामदेस्य रम्यादेसायनाम्याः अस्य यजमानस्य कुटुम्बस्य आत्रे गोत्रोद्भवस्य वेङ्कटसुब्रह्मण्यशर्मणः गोमतीनाम्याः अस्य यजमानस्य कुटुम्बस्य विश्वामित्रगोत्रोद्भवस्य गोपीसुन्दरं शर्मणः सत्यासुन्दरं नाम्याः अस्य यजमानस्य कुटुम्बस्य पुलिचर्लगोत्रोद्भवस्य उमाशङ्करनामदेस्य सुजाता नाम्याः अस्य यजमानस्य कुटुम्बस्य सिंगल गोत्रोद्भवस्य विजय अगरवाल नामदेस्य मीना अगरवाल नाम्याः अस्य यजमानस्य कुटुम्बस्य नागुलगोत्रोद्भवस्य गौरीनाथ नामदेस्य माधवी नाम्याः अस्य यजमानस्य कुटुम्बस्य बैडिकुलगोत्रोद्भवस्य राजेश पोला नामदेस्य चैतन्यपोला नाम्याः अस्य यजमानस्य कुटुम्बस्य साईगोत्रोद्भवस्य पूर्णिमा बुद्धा नाम्याः साईकुशाल नामदेस्य अस्य यजमानस्य कुटुम्बस्य विश्वामित्रगोत्रोद्भवस्य शिवकुमार नराज नामदेस्य इन्दुप्रिया नाम्याः अस्य यजमानस्य कुटुम्बस्य विप्पर्लगोत्रोद्भवस्य वेङ्कटरेड्डी नामदेस्य नर्मदा ब्रह्मारेड्डी नाम्याः अस्य यजमानस्य कुटुम्बस्य वन्निट्लगोत्रोद्भवस्य रमेशवाडी नामदेस्य महालक्ष्मीवाडी नाम्याः अस्य यजमानस्य कुटुम्बस्य काश्यपगोत्रोद्भवस्य जिज्ञासा पटेल नामदेयस्य अस्य यजमानस्य कुटुम्बस्य शिवगोत्रोद्भवस्य आनन्दरामकृष्ण नामदेस्य कविता रामकृष्ण नाम्याः श्रीवत्सगोत्रोद्भवस्य साम्बशिवराव नन्दूरी शर्मणः गायत्री नन्दूरी नाम्याः अस्य यजमानस्य कुटुम्बस्य भारद्वाजगोत्रोद्भवस्य सत्यानन्दशरपति नामदेयस्य राधाशरपति नाम्याः अस्य यजमानस्य कुटुम्बस्य हरितगोत्रोद्भवस्य कुमार श्रीनिवास शर्मणः विद्या श्रीनिवासन नाम्याः अस्य यजमानस्य कुटुम्बस्य श्रीवत्सगोत्रोद्भवस्य पुरुषोत्तम सदाशिवं शर्मणः सत्या सदाशिवं नाम्याः अस्य यजमानस्य कुटुम्बस्य जम्बुमहर्षिगोत्रोद्भवस्य षण्मुखराज नामदेस्य चित्रा नाम्याः अस्य यजमानस्य నమోస్తజే నమః. బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ కనిపిస్తుందమ్మా ఇప్పుడు.
ఒక్క నిమిషం తగ్గించాలి. ఇది చూడండి, ఇది మాత్రం.
ఓం శుక్లాంబరధరం విష్ణుం శశివర్ణం చతుర్భుజం ప్రసన్నవదనం ధ్యాయేత్ సర్వవిఘ్నోపశాంతయే. ఓం భూర్భువః జ్యోతిరసోమృతం బ్రహ్మ భూర్భువస్సుకరో నమో వాత్తా సమస్తాదృతక్షయద్వారా శ్రీపరమేశ్వర ప్రీత్యర్థం శుభే శోభనే ముహూర్తే ఆద్య బ్రహ్మణः నిజపరాध्ये శ్రీ శ్వేతవరాహకల్పే వైవస్వతమన్వంతరే అష్టావింశతితమే కలియుగే प्रथमे पादे सम्भूत्लक्षे ऐन्द्रवखण्डे नौचद्वीपे रमणकमलशे नसीतित्यादि नदी प्रवहिते राहीत्यादिवर्गदे भारतस्य पश्चिमोत्तरदिग्भागे उत्तर अमेरिकायाः करोरियाराष्ट्रे रालीनगरमध्यप्रदेशे चालीनगरनामाङ्गिरस्य उत्तर अमेरिकदेशस्थितानां शिरडीसद्गुरुसाजनां स्वामिनित्यमहाक्षेत्रे अस्मिन् वर्तमाने व्यावहारिके चान्द्रमानेन प्रभवादीनां दृष्ट्याः संवत्सराणां मध्ये विश्वावसुनाम संवत्सरे उत्तरायणे शिशिरऋतौ कुम्भमासे कृष्णपक्षेद्या द्वादश्यां समरितो वासरः मासरस्तोज्या शुभवासरयुक्तायां गुरुवासरयुक्तायां शुभनक्षत्र शुभयोग शुभकरण एवं गुणसकलसद्गुणविशेषेण विशिष्टायां अस्यां वर्तमानायां शुभनिधौ श्रीपरमेश्वरप्रीत्यर्थम् अस्मिन्नालयेषु आगमितानाम् अनागमिष्यमानानाम् आगतानां सर्वेषां भगवद्बन्धुजनानां सकलक्षेमस्थैर्यधैर्यवीर्यविजय अभयाजुरारोग्य ऐश्वर्याभिवृद्ध्यर्थं धर्मार्थकाम्यमोक्षचतुर्विधफलपुरुषार्थसिद्ध्यर्थं सर्वाभीष्टसिद्ध्यर्थं सर्वारिष्टशान्त्यर्थं श्री गोमत्यंबिका समेता शंकरनारायण स्वामी देवता प्रीत्यर्थं श्री गोमत्यंबिका प्रसाद फलसिद्ध्यर्थं तत्प्रसादेन सत्संतानाभिवृद्ध्यर्थं आयुष्मत्स्वरूपादि सर्वाभीष्टसिद्ध्यर्थं उत्तरोत्तरं क्षेमाभिवृद्ध्यर्थं गृहे धन कनकवस्तुवाहन कीर्तितेजोलक्ष्म्यादि समस्त अष्टैश्वर्यप्राप्त्यर्थं अस्मिन् देवालयेषु आगमितानां सर्वेषां भगवत्बन्धुभगिनीवर्गाणां च दीर्घसौमङ्गल्याभिवृद्ध्यर्थं दिने दिने अभिवृद्ध्यर्थं महालक्ष्मी स्थैर्यतासिद्ध्यर्थं श्रीमहाकाली महालक्ष्मी महासरस्वती प्रसादफलसिद्ध्यर्थं तत्प्रसादेन सकलकार्येषु निर्विघ्नतासिद्ध्यर्थं तद्वारा उत्तरोत्तरं क्षेमाभिवृद्ध्यर्थं वेदोक्तपरिपूर्णदीर्घादिश्याभिवृद्ध्यर्थं मनस्सङ्कल्पसिद्ध्यर्थं मनोधैर्यतासिद्ध्यर्थं सर्वाभीष्टसिद्ध्यर्थं यावज्जीवपर्यन्तं सुखसन्तोषनिर्मलजीवनप्राप्त्यर्थं सकलसौभाग्यसिद्ध्यर्थं सर्वाभीष्टसिद्ध्यर्थं वेदोक्तपरिपूर्णदीर्घादिश्याभिवृद्ध्यर्थं वारे वारे तत्सद्या एतद्वारप्रयुक्ता भृगुवासरप्रयुक्ता प्रातःकालसमये यथाशक्ति अभिषेकपूजां श्रीचक्र आधिष्ठाना श्रीललिता महात्रिपुरसुन्दरी प्रसादफलसिद्ध्यर्थं यथाशक्ति ललिता सहस्रनाम कुङ्कुमार्चनपारायणपूर्वकम् आचार्यमुखेन च कारयिष्ये। ॐ गणानां त्वा गणपतिं भवामहे कविं कवीनां श्रीमहागणपतये नमः। प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजे दुर्गायनीवती दीनामभिप्रियवतु। ॐ गङ्गणपतये नमः। श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ। जातवेदते सुनवाम ओमहराति जतो निदहाति वेदः तनः परिजदति दुर्गाणि विश्वा नावेदसिन्धुरिपात्यग्निः तावग्निमस्नान् तपसा ज्वलन्ति वैरोचनीं कर्मफले दुर्गुष्टा दुर्गां देवीं शरणमहं प्रपद्ये सुतरसितरसे नमः।
In order to teach the devotees the lesson of charity and remove their passionate bodies and love to purify their minds, Baba instructed Archana from them. And then
सुतरसितरसे नमः। अग्ने त्वं पारयानभ्यो अस्मान् स्वस्ति विरति दुर्गाणि विश्वा ओष्टपृथ्वी बहुलान उर्वी भवा कोटायतनयाय शंयो विश्वानिनो दुर्गा जातवेदसिन्धुं तनवाहुरितासि परिधि अग्ने अत्रिवन्मनसा गृणामो मातं बोध्यविपातनूनः प्रतनाजितगुं सहमानमुग्रमज्जिगुं होवेम परमान् अधस्थाते सनः परिषदति दुर्गाणि विश्वा शामद्देवो अतिदुरितात्यग्निः रत्नोहितमीड्यो अध्वरेषु सनद्धहोता नव्यश्यसत्सि स्वाञ्चाग्ने तनुवं पित्रयस्वास्मभ्यञ्च सौभगमायजस्वा गोभिर्जुष्टनयुजोनिः सन्तवेन्द्रविष्णु तनु सञ्चरेमा नाकस्य पृष्ठमभिसंवसामो वैष्णवीर्लोक इह मादयन्ता नात्याजनाय विद्महे कन्याकुमारी धीमहि तन्नो दुर्गे प्रचोदयात्। हिरण्यवर्णं हरिणीं सुवर्णरजतस्रजा चन्द्रां हिरण्मयीर्लक्ष्मी जातवेदो महावः जातवेदो लक्ष्मी अनपगामि यस्यां हिरण्यं विन्दे गङ्गाश्वं पुरुषानहम् अश्वपूर्वामृतमत्या हस्तिनादप्रबोधिनी श्रियं देवीमुपह्वये श्रीर्मा देवीर्जुषता त्वां सोऽस्मिता शरणमहं प्रपद्ये अदक्ष्मीर्मे नश्यताम् त्वां वृणे आदित्यवर्णे तपसो भिजातो वनस्पतिस्त्वमवृक्षोत्रबिल्वः तस्य फलानि तपसानुदन्तु मायान्तरायाश्च भाष्या अलक्ष्मीः उपैतु मां देवसख कीर्तिश्च मणिना सह राजोऽस्मि राष्ट्रेऽस्मिन् कीर्तिर्धिं ददातु मे क्षुत्पिपासामदां ज्येष्ठां लक्ष्मीर्नाशयाम्यहम् अभूतिमसमृद्धिं च सर्वां निर्नुदमे गृहात् गन्धर्वालान्दुराधरेतां नित्यपुष्टां करीषिणीं ईश्वरीं सर्वभूतानां तामिहोपस्त्वये श्रियम् मनसः कामपूतिं वातः सत्यमधीमहि शूरां गोपमन्नस्य महि श्रीश्रयता यजः तत्समेन प्रजाभूता अधिकं भवतः श्रियं वादय मे कुले मातरं पद्ममालिनी आपसृजन्तु स्निग्धानि वेतवसमे गृहे निचदेवीं मातरं श्रियं वासय मे कुले आर्द्रां पुष्करणीं पुष्टिं सुवर्णां हेममालिनीं सूर्यां हिरण्मयीं लक्ष्मी जातवेदो महावः महावः जातवेदो लक्ष्मी अनपगामिनी हिरण्यं विन्देयं प्रदोषं लाभो दास्योत्थानं विन्देयं पुरुषाणाम् महावेत्ति च विद्महे विष्णुभक्ति च धीमहि तन्नो लक्ष्मीः प्रचोदयात् मेधादेवी जुषमाना नमागात् विश्वासी भद्रागुणनस्यमाना स्वजाजुष्टानुदमाना दुरुक्तान् बृहस्पतेन विदते सुवीराः त्वजाजुष्टऋषि भवति देवि त्वया ब्रह्मा ऋतश्रीरुतत्वया त्वया त्वया विन्दश्चित्रं विन्दते वसुधानो बृहस्पत्रमिनो न मेधे मेधादेवी युषमाना महागा विश्वाची भद्रासुमनस्यमाना त्वया दुष्टानुदमाना दुरुक्ता बृहस्पतेन विदते सुवीराः त्वया दुष्टश्चित्रं विन्दते वसुधानो दुष्टस्पत्रविनो न मेधे मेधां म इन्द्रो ददातु मेधां देवी सरस्वती मेधां मे अश्विना दुधावादस्तात् अस्य दानादपानयन्तश्चरतिलोचना यज्जन्मनिजस्तुवः यत्त्वारुद्धफलोऽप मञ्जुना यदवत्या सुकल्पमस्मे तत्तवतु मृत्को दीपयामसि यत्ते मन्युपरोस्तस्य पृथिवीमनुदध्वसे आदित्या विश्वे तद्देवावसवश्च समाभरन् मनो ज्योतिर्जुषतामाद्यं विच्छिन्नै यज्ञपुंसनिमन्दधातु बृहस्पतिस्पनुतामिमन्नो विश्वे देवा इह मादयन्ताम् सप्तते अग्ने समिधः सप्त जिह्वा सप्तर्षयः सप्तधाम प्रियाणि सप्तहोत्राः सप्तधात्वा यजन्ति सप्तयोनिरा प्रणस्वाघृतेन पुनरुज्जानिवर्तस्व पुनरग्न इहायुषा पुनर्नः पाहि विश्वतः सहरय्यानिवर्तस्वाग्ने पिन्वस्वधारया विश्वप्स्निया विश्वतस्परि लेकस्तेन आदित्या आद्यञ्जुषाणादिजन्तु केतस्सकेतस्सु केतस्थेन आदित्या आद्यञ्जुषाणादिजन्तु दिवस्वादुम् अधिभिर्देवज्योतिस्तेन आदित्या आद्यञ्जुषाणादिजन्तु ॐ विक्रावन्नो अकारयन् विष्णोरश्वस्य वादिनः सुरभिनो मुखाचरप्रण आयोमुञ्जितारिषते हिरण्यवराहोष्ठानयो भुवस्थानपूर्येवधातन महेरणाय चक्षसे योगशिवतमोरधस्तस्य वादयते हनः क्षतीरिव मातरः तस्मामगङ्गमामभो यस्य क्षयाय जिन्वथ आपो जनयथाचनः हिरण्यवम् आश्रुतयः पावका यासु जातः कश्यपो यास्मिन्द्रः अग्नीयागन्धभिरे विरूपा तान आपश्यग्रस्यो न भवन्तु यासान् देवादिति गृह्णन्ति भक्षय्या अन्तरिक्षे बहुधा भवन्ति या पृथिवीन्दयसोन्वन्ति शुक्रास्तानः पश्यग्रस्यो न शिवेन मा चक्षुषा पश्यता पश्चिवया अनुभोपस्पृशतत्वचं मे सर्वागुम् अग्निगुम्रत्सुषदो हुवे भोमजिवक्षो बलमोजो निधत्ता यदतः सम्प्रजतिरः वनददाहते तस्मादानद्यो नामस्थनामो न आमो आमानि यत्प्रेरिता वरुणेन आशीभगुंसमवल्लका यत्प्रदापो अग्निना वरुणेति दमामहे ततो वरुणनो यदवस्तं प्रयतेरः वरदतामहे तस्मादानन्यो नाम सतारो मामानि कुन्दवः यत्प्रेरिता वरुणेन काशीभगुंसमवल्लका सदा आत्मोऽन्द्रो भोजति तस्मादापो तदुत्थना अपकामज्ञस्यन्दमानवा अमीवरतबोहिकम् इन्द्रो दुष्शक्तिभिर्देवी तस्मात् वात्नामबोहिकम् एको देवो अप्यतिष्ठत्स्यन्दमाना यथादशम् उदानिषम् महीरिति तस्मादुदकमुच्यते आपो दद्राजुतमिदापहासुरग्नीनो विप्रत्यापनिस्ताः ते गाढेन सह वक्रसागन् आदिपश्यान्युपवासनो यामाघोषो गच्छति अन्ये देगानो अमृतस्य तर्हि हिरण्यगन्धा अतृपय्यदावः आपो रिक्तामयो भुवस्मानभूत्येदातना महेरणायचक्षसे यो वश्मिनदनोरस्तस्य धारयतेरनः उषतीव मातरः तस्मा अरङ्गनामभोजस्तिक्षजातजिन्दसा आपो जनयथातनः विविश्रजत्वान्तरिक्षेतस्वपृथिव्या सम्भवब्रह्मवत्यगमसि ब्रह्मवत्यसायत्वा अपाङ्गृहाङ्गृह्णाति अपमानस्तु वर्जनः पवित्रेण वितर्षणिः यस्पोपासपनासुमा पुनन्तमादेन जनाः पुनन्तु मनमोधिया पुनन्तु विश्व आयवः जापवेदं पवित्रवत् पवित्रेण पुनाहिमा शुक्रेण देवदीयते अग्ने कृत्वा चक्रुमृणो उत्ते पवित्रभक्तिः अग्ने विदमन्तरा ब्रह्मतेन पुनीमहे भाभ्यादेन सवितः पवित्रेण सवेन च इदं ब्रह्म पुनीमहे वैष्णदेवी पुनती वेद्याजाते श्रीभक्ति प्रभो श्रीपृष्ठाः प्रजावस्तस्तदाध्येषु वयज्ञस्यापदजोरदीनां वैश्वानरो रक्ष्मदस्मात्मातो वासप्राणेश्वरोमजोभोः यावा पृथिवीतयसापयोभिः कृतावने विजयेनामुनीतां बृहद्भिस्सवितस्मिभिः वरिजुष्ठैर्देवमन्नभिः अग्ने दक्षैः पुनाहिमा येन देवा पुनता येनामो दिव्यङ्गजः तेन दिव्येन ब्रह्मणा इदं ब्रह्म पुनीमहे निष्पादमानी रुध्येति ऋषिभिस्संवृतगुंसं सर्वगुंसपूपमश्नाति स्वदितं वा तरिष्वना पापमानीभ्यो अध्येति ऋषिभिस्संवृतगुंसं तस्मै सरस्वती दुहे क्षीरं सत्कृत्मधोदकं पापमानी पुस्त्यजनीः सुदुग्धाहि प्रजस्वतीः ऋषिभिस्संवृतो रसः ब्राह्मणेष्वमृतगुम्भितं पापमानेऽस्ति सन्तुनः इमं लोकमथोऽहं कामान् समर्पयन्तु नः देवैः समावृताः पापमानी स्वस्त्यजनीः सुदुगाहि प्रजस्वतीः ऋषिभिस्संवृतोरसः ब्राह्मणे सुदुगाहि प्रजस्वतः ऋषिभिस्संवृतोरसः ब्राह्मणेष्वमृतगुम्भितं येन देवा पवित्रेण आत्मानं सुतशेषदाः तेन सहस्रधारेण पावमान्यस्पनन्तमा राजानस्यं पवित्रं सदोद्यानगुम्भिरन्मजं तेन ब्रह्मविदो भजन् गोतं ब्रह्ममुनीमहे इन्द्रस्वनीति सहमातुनातो सोमसपुत्यावरुणस्तमीच्या यमो राजा प्रमृणाभिर्मातुमा जातवेदामोऽस्मिजन्त्यात्मातो भुवस्सुवः तच्छिञ्जो रावणीमहे गातुर्यज्ञाय गातुर्यज्ञपदजे दैवीः सुस्थिरश्वनः सुस्थिर्मानुषेभ्यः ऊर्ध्वन्निगातुवेदिनं तन्नामस्तुतिपदेः सुस्थिरस्पदे ॐ शांति 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 या देवी सर्वभूतेषु लक्ष्मीरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु मातृरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु विद्यारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः
అమ్మ చింతపండు కనిపించలేదు కనిపించలేదు ఎత్తుకాను ఎక్కడో పెట్టినదో తెలియదండి
Rest of the family and rest of the chase parents with 6 months.
found to his surprise that the unfinished portion opened up. He thought that Baba sent him very kindly to Sama's house by making him complete his very vision. So he went through the unfinished portion and completed it. As soon as this was over, Sama, after doing his worship, came out and the following conversation took place between them. I have found the message from Baba. He has asked me to return with rupees 15 as Archana from you. Also sit with you for a while and have a pleasant chit chat and then return to the masjid with you. Somehow it's surprised. I have no money to give. Take my 15 namaskara in lieu of rupees as Archana to Baba. I want to all right, your namaskara are accepted. Now let us have some chit chat. Tell me some stories and leelas of Baba to destroy our sins. Somehow then sit down here for a while. Wonderful is the score of the leela of Baba. You know it already. I have really just while you are a pleasant citizen. You have seen some more leelas, seen some more. How could I describe them before you? When it came with cheeks and leelas and Archana and I have a palm leela for I alone, dress myself and come out. In a few minutes, Sama came out and said, "Talk to you, he said, the leela of Baba is together. There is no end to his leela, who can see them. He plays or sports with his leela, cities beyond known. What would be the stick? Why does not Baba himself tell stories? Why does he send learn and like to fools like me? His way are inconceivable. I can only say that they are not true. With this secret Sama I now remember a story which I shall relate to you. I know it personally. As a devotee is resolute and determined, so is Baba's immediate response. Sometimes Baba puts a devotee to severe test and then gives them the instructions. As soon as Ananta heard the word Tesha, a flash of lightning crossed his mind. He had once remembered the story of Mr. Sahib, Guru Charisma reading, and thought that Baba might have sent him to Sama in order to give peace to his restless mind. However, he curbed his feeling and began to listen to Sama's stories. They all showed how kind and affectionate Baba was to his devotees. Anantan began to feel joy of hearing. Then Sama began to tell the following story. Mrs. Radhabai Deshmukh. There was an old woman by the name Radhabai. She was the mother of one Tata Sahib Deshmukh. Hearing Baba's name, she came to tribute the people of Sanghamar. She took Baba's darshan and was much satisfied. She loved Baba immediately and resolved in her mind that she should accept Baba as her guru, take some updation from him. She determined to fast herself unto death, so long as Baba did not accept her and give her updation mantra. She stayed in her lodging and stopped taking any food or water for 3 days. I was frightened by this ordeal of the old woman who requested Baba on her behalf. I said, Deva, what is this? You have started. You read so many persons here. You know that old lady. She is very obstinate and depends on you. She has resolved to pass on to that. If you don't accept her instruction, if anything wrong happens, people will blame you and say that Baba has not instructed her, and as a consequence, she met her death. So take some mercy on her, bless her and instruct her. On seeing her determination, Baba sent for her and made her change her mind by blessing as follows. O Mother, why do you have to subject yourself to unnecessary torture? You are my lover and I am your child. Take pity on me and hear me through. I tell you my own story, which if you listen carefully will do you good. I had a guru. He was a great saint and most merciful. I served him long, very long, still he could not blow any mantra into my ears. I had keen desire never to leave him, but to stay with him and serve him, and at all costs from me. He never neglected me but protected me at all times. I lived with him and was sometimes away from him. Still, I never felt absence of his love. He always protected me by his plans. Just as a tortoise feeds a young mother and a young mother away from her on the other side of the bank by a thousand plants. Oh mother, my Guru never taught me any mantra, then how shall I learn your final ideas? Just remember that Guru's tortoise like loving plants gives us happiness. Do not try to get mantra or pressure from anybody. Make me your sole object of the thought, action, and you will no longer attain the spiritual goal of life. Look at me wholeheartedly and I will eternally look at you. Sitting in this circle, I speak the truth, nothing but truth. No sadhana or proficiency in the six shastras is necessary. Have faith and confidence in your Guru. Believe that Guru is the sole actor for the world. Blessed is he who knows the greatness of the Guru and thinks him to be Hari, Hara and Brahma. Instructed in this way, the old lady was convinced to go to Baba and give up her thoughts. Hearing this story carefully and attentively and making its significance and appropriateness, Ambaall was most agreeably surprised. On seeing this wonderful Leela Baba, he was moved from top to toe. He was overflowing with joy. His throat was choked and he was not able to utter a single word. Shama answered, seeing this in his condition, asked him, "What is the matter with you? Why are you silent? How shall I describe the innumerable leaders of power?" Just at this time, the bell in the masjid began to ring, proclaiming that the moon worshipped the Archana ceremony had begun. Therefore, Shama and Harathi hurried to the masjid. Babu Sahib Joe had just started the worship. Women were up in the masjid and men were standing below in the open court and they were all singing the Archana in the chorus to accompaniment of Ram. Shama went up, pulling Ambaall with him. He sat to the right and Ambaall in front of the Baba. On seeing them, Baba asked Ambaall to give the Dakshina brought from Shama. He replied that Shama gave Namaskar and view of the rupees and that he was there in person. Baba said, "All right, now let me know whether you both have chit-chat and if so, tell me all that you talk about." Not minding the sound of the bell, the drum and the chorus song, Ambaall was eager to tell Baba that what he had talked about and started to narrate it. Baba was also anxious to hear that, and so he left the bolster lead towards forward. Ambaall said that all that he talked about was very pleasant. Specifically, the story of the old lady was most wonderful, and that on hearing it, he thought that his Leela was inexplicable, and under the guise of that story, he really blessed him. Baba had said, "Wonderful is the story. How were you blessed? I would like to know everything in detail from you, so tell me all about it." Then Ambaall related in full the story which he had heard a little while before, which he had a lasting impression on his mind. Hearing this, Baba was much pleased and asked him, "Did the story strike you on it, and did you catch its significance?" He replied, "Yes, Baba, the restlessness of my mind has vanished and I have got true peace and rest and come to know the true path." Then Baba spoke as follows, "My matter is quite unique. Remember well, this one story and it will be very easy. To get the knowledge of self-realization of the self, meditation is necessary. If you practice it continuously, the subtle thoughts will be pacified. Being quiet, desireless, you should meditate on God who is in all the creatures, and when the mind is concentrated, the goal will be achieved. Meditate always on my formless nature, which is knowledge incarnate, and consciousness and bliss. If you cannot do that, meditate on my form. From top to toe, you shall as you go on in this, your great peace will be single pointed, and the distinction between the meditator and the meditation things meditated upon will be lost, and the meditator will be one of the consciousness and be merged in Brahma. The mother daughter is on one bank of the river and her little ones on another. She gives real milk, brought warmth to them. Her real loving glance came and will reach them. The young ones do nothing but remember their mother. The daughter's glance is to the young one. To all these souls of substance and happiness, similar reader, let us imagine that we are at this point standing amongst the crowd of nurses, and let us join them in this Jayaleka. After the army ceremony was over, Prasad was distributed. Babu Sahib came forward as usual, and after saluting Baba, gave into his palm a handful of sugar candy. Baba put all this into the hand of Ambaall and said to him, if you take this story to heart and remember it well, your state will be serious and all your desires will be fulfilled, and you will be, all your desires will be fulfilled. So when you heard more about you favorite lesson protecting all the Baba said, take this story, meditate on it, resurrect its spirit. When you always remember and meditate on the Lord, He will manifest Himself to you. Dear and dear friends of Lord Prasad, I let me know that Prasad of Lord and the matter of the soul. Let us bring it to our hearts and meditate on it and celebrate in its form and be happy with our experience. Towards the end of the 19th chapter, Harathi had dealt with some other matters which are known to you. Baba's advice regarding our behavior. Following the word of Baba, our general welfare is invaluable. If you are kept in mind and acted upon, they will always do good. Unless there is some relationship or connection, nobody goes anywhere. If any man or creature comes to you, do not discourteously drive them. However, receive them well and treat them with due respect. Sri Hari God will certainly please if you give water to the thirsty, bread to the hungry, clothes to the naked, and your veranda to the strangers for resting. If anybody wants anything from you and you are not inclined to give, do not give, but do not bark at them by God. Let them speak hundreds of things against you, you do not resent by giving any little to them. If you tolerate such things, you will certainly be happy. Let the world be topsy-turvy, you remain where you are. Standing in your own place, look on calmly at the show of all things passing before you. Demolish the wall of difference that separates you from me, and then the road for our meeting will be clear and open. The sense of differentiation as I and thou is the barrier that keeps away the disciple from his master. And unless that is destroyed, the state of living is not possible. Allah, my God is the sole proprietor, nobody else is our protector. His method of working is extraordinary, invaluable, indisputable. His will is become, He will show us the way and satisfy our heart's desires. It is on account of wind, husband, and formal relationship that we have come together. Let us love and serve each other and be happy. He who attains the supreme goal of life is immortal and happy. All others merely exist. Live so long as they believe. Encouraging good thoughts to solution. It is interesting to note how the time of encourage good thoughts. You have to surrender yourself completely to Him with love and devotion, and then you will see how He helps you throughout. Some saint has said that when you get a good thought immediately after awakening from sleep, and if you develop the same afterward during the day, your intellect will be unfolded and your mind will be calm. Another wanted to try this out. One Wednesday night before going to bed, he thought tomorrow is Thursday, as an auspicious day, and the place should be so holy. Let me pass the whole day in remembering and celebrating Rama. And then he slept off the next morning. When he got up, he remembered without any effort the name of Rama. After finishing his morning duty, he went to see Baba Baba. When he left Dikshitwara and was passing by Bhutiwara, he heard a beautiful song that was being sung nicely by one Ananda Kali Masjid before Baba. The song was Guru Kripa, etc. which he said he got holiday in the form of his Guru's place, which opened his vision and made him see Rama in an hour and sleep, and waking state and everywhere. There were so many songs, but why was this song particularly chosen by one devotee of Rama? In this non-obvious coincidence, and in the Rama to amplify the determination of Ambaall to unceasingly Rama. All saints agree and lay stress upon the efficacy of uttering Rama's name in fulfilling the ambitions of the Bhakta and protecting and saving them from all calamities. Variety in the audacious language and brand. Sai Baba required no special place nor any special time for giving instructions. Whenever any occasion demanded, he gave them freely. TV. Once it so happened that a Bhakta of Baba reviewed someone behind his back before others people. On leaving aside the activity belt on the spot of the brother, he spoke so sarcastically that the hearer was disgusted. Generally, we see that people have a tendency to scandalize others unnecessarily, and this brings an all ill feeling. Since she scandals with another life, they say that there are various ways of cleansing or removing dirt, which by the means of water and soap, etc. But a scandal monger has got a way of his own. He removes his fault of others by his tongue, so in the way he obliges a person whom he reveals, and for this he gets to hang. Sai Baba had his own method of correcting the scandal mongers. He knew by his omniscience that the slanderer had done, and when he met him at near the lady, Baba pointed out to him a pig that was eating filth near the fence and said to him, "Behold, how is that relish with his gulping filth." Your conduct is similar. You go on being while lighting your own breath to your heart's content. After performing many feats of mercy, you are born as a human. If you act like this, how can you help in any way? He left the share one heart to his heart and went away. In this environment, on giving instructions, wherever necessary, if these are born in our mind, acted upon the spiritual world, it is not follow. Praise the Lord, there is the higher Lord, He will feed me on my part. This power is only true in respect to food and clothing. If anyone is living in this fit idol and does nothing in spiritual matter, he will be doing. One has to exert himself to the utmost for attaining self-realization. The more he endeavors, the better for him. Now, with the peace omnipresent, transcendental land, inner world, life, heaven, and that he was not localized. He removed the misunderstanding that those who thought that Baba was only in his body, 3 cubit and half in length, he incarnated himself in the body. And if any devotee meditated upon him day and night with complete self-surrender, he experienced complete healing like sweetness and sugar, waves and sea, eye and sight. He who wants to get rid of cycle of birth and death should lead a righteous life with his mind calm and composed. He should not speak harshly to anyone so as to hurt him. He should always engage himself in good action, should do good duty and surrender himself heart and soul to him. He need not then be afraid of anything. He who trusts him entirely, hears and expounds his leela, does not think of anything else, is sure to attain self-realization. Baba asked many to remember his name and to surrender to him. But to those who wanted to know who they were, who am I, he advised Shravan, study and contemplation to some. He advised something of remembering God's name to others, hearing his leela to some, worship of his feet to others, reading and studying Adhyatma, Ramayana, Dhaneshwari, and other sacred scriptures. Some he made sit near his feet, some he sent Kandalas, candles, some he advised the repetition of 1,000 names of Vishnu, and some the study of Chandra Yoga, Upanishad, and the Gita. There was neither at the